NFL draft class that's coming up for quarterbacks isn't, the best. It's not the draft class we're seeing now. Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels, Michael Penix Jr. when he gets his opportunity, Caleb Williams, all the talented quarterbacks we've seen in this draft class, it's not going to be that. It's more going to be like the Bryce Young, the CJ Stroud, Anthony Richardson kind of draft class. But there's still two really good quarterbacks. The rest of the other quarterbacks, not too certain about. But I think Shedeur Sanders is going to be great. And I think Cam Ward's going to be fantastic. Situation matters, though. Will, Shedeur and Deion follow each other in the NFL? Will Deion go take the job in Vegas? That'd be exciting. Him and Shedeur in Vegas, that would be box office. Vegas needs people to come to their games. They need to put butts in the seats, and what better way to do that than primetime coming to be their head coach and, Shedeur, who I think has all the tools to be a great quarterback, and Tom Brady has ownership in the Raiders. Shedeur and him worked out, previously. They have a good relationship. So that's somebody I could see them taking a shot at. And Mark Davis, the owner, really likes Shedeur Sanders. There was a video that surfaced online, Mark Davis, saying a lot of good things to Shedeur Sanders. So I think there's an opportunity for him to fall to the Vegas Raiders. The Raiders probably have the worst quarterback room in the NFL. Gardner Minshew just, messed up his shoulder, so he'll be out for the rest of the season. And Aiden O'Connell's terrible. The other quarterback they got, Desmond Ritter's bad. So their quarterback room is terrible. So they need a playmaker, a guy to come in. Shedeur Sanders right now, 30 passing touchdowns, 7 interceptions, almost 3,500 yards passing on the season, and he's been great all year. Colorado, the big talk is Travis Hunter. Obviously, for various reasons, he's one of the big names out of Colorado. When you think of Colorado, you think of him and Deion Sanders, and then you think of Shedeur. But Shedeur has been just as good. Kansas State, which they should have won that game. Had Travis Hunter been in there at corner, they probably would have had opportunity. But, one of the better teams in the Big 12, the team that people thought were going to win the Big 12 at the beginning of the year, and they're still pretty good, pretty solid. Shedeur Sanders was carving them up without Travis Hunter and without Jimmy Horn. So when he doesn't have his weapons, he's playing well. He has a clutch gene. He can make big throws in big time moments. He's very comfortable in the pocket. He could extend plays with his legs. His ball placement is perfect. He's a high level passer. He has all the traits to be a good quarterback. Comparisons, Geno Smith, obviously Geno Smith right now in Seattle, he could be that. And Geno's playing at a high level. When he has a good offensive line, when he has a good pocket, he can make every throw, and that's the same thing with Shedeur. And yeah, we've seen him all year tear defenses apart, and we've also seen him get sacked a lot. So when the pocket is there, offensive line is good, he's going to tear defenses apart. So he has great accuracy as well. So when he has a clean pocket, he's going to make every throw. He can make every throw. It's just going to come down to offensive scheme, I think, offensive line. I really like Jackson Powers Johnson. I really like the other center they have in, Vegas. They have Colton Miller at tackle as well. So this offensive line isn't terrible. They could add some more pieces to it, and they'll be a pretty good offensive line. Brock Bowers, obviously, the year he's having, he could break records as a rookie tight end, maybe a top 5 tight end in the league already. So with him and Shedeur, that can be a special duo. We've seen a lot of quarterbacks have that tight end, that go-to security blanket, have a lot of success. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, whoever the 49ers quarterback is, and Kittle. We've seen if you have a great tight end, you could go a long way, and a weapon like that. Jacoby Myers is nice as well. They probably need to add another receiver, but Vegas has some potential. And Antonio Pierce, he's a solid coach. I think he's done a great job. Has some, head scratchers game management wise, but if you want to go prime time, you could do that, and I think Deion would have a lot of success in Vegas. I think he would be a great NFL coach. Obviously, he's talked about his purpose being more in college football, teaching young men how to be men, basically. He's done a great job with that with Colorado. His speech at the end of Colorado's loss to Kansas was phenomenal. So I could see him staying in Colorado, but I mean, you only get one shot to coach your son in the NFL. Some people don't ever get that opportunity, so he should take that, go to Vegas, be the head coach of there. I'm sure Mark Davis, Tom Brady, all those guys will welcome it. And he knows how to get the most out of his son. He knows how to make his son successful better than anybody else. So we could see Deion and Shedeur in Vegas. I think that team would be exciting. It'd probably take a year or two, but I think Deion could have success in the NFL for sure. The quarterback in the AFC West, that could be really interesting. Bo Nix, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, and Shedeur Sanders. Cam Ward to the Giants, I think this is box office. I think him, Malik Neighbors, Tyron Tracy at the running back position. People want to talk about Saquon Barkley leaving, but Tyron Tracy has been fantastic this season, making a lot of. He's had a couple 100-yard performances this season, a couple big games, and yeah, he's been a great replacement for Saquon. Devin Singletary was supposed to fill that role, but he's done a great job in replacing Saquon. I like the tight end Theo Johnson. He's made some plays here and there. He's a pretty solid tight end. A little more development for him, and maybe he could be more productive. Wan'Dale Robinson, great route runner. He has drop issues, but he could be a great wide receiver too. But Cam Ward, if he could step into this Giants team, they need that kind of elite playmaker quarterback. Daniel Jones wasn't it. They really haven't had a quarterback since Eli Manning. So bringing Cam Ward in there, developing him. We've seen Brian Daboll. I would like him to stay with Cam Ward because we've seen him have success with Josh Allen. We've seen him take Danny Dimes to the playoffs. So we've seen him have success in terms of elevating quarterback play. So a guy who has a high ceiling, and I think he could reach that with Brian Daboll. He has a lot of Mahomes-like, playmaking ability. Obviously, he's not as polished as a passer as Mahomes. He forces a lot of turnovers trying to make a lot of big plays. Sometimes he needs to just take the check down, just take the 6 to 7 yard completions. We see him throw through double coverage. It turns into an interception, but more often than not, he's making plays. And the thing I like about Cam Ward is he's confident, calm, poised at all times. He could throw an interception and he's still poised, still comfortable, and he's going to come back that next drive and answer. And we've seen him do that every game this season except for Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech, they lost in that game. Their defense, Miami's defense, is terrible, but they're still 9-1 in great position to make the college football playoff and win their conference potentially. So Cam Ward, big reason for that. And I think him coming to the NFL, we need another guy like this. 34 passing touchdowns, 7 interceptions, almost 4,000 yards passing. One more game, maybe a 300-yard performance will help him clinch that. But just a natural thrower, control of his arm talent, can make every arm angle throw. This guy, yeah, he's one of one. And I'm excited to see him get in the NFL. But with him, just like Shedeur, it's going to come down to offensive scheme, right coaching staff, right support system. He's a young player too, so you might deal with some, maturity and all that stuff, but he's experienced. He's played a lot of football, Washington State, couple seasons, and now at Miami. So he has a lot of game film, a lot of game tape. So it's just going to come down to development for him, but he has a high ceiling. Him and Shedeur could be great quarterbacks in the NFL, and I'm excited to see where they land. Let me know down below in the comments where you want to see these two quarterbacks get drafted and which quarterback you would rather have.
Some people thought the NFC North was going to be the worst division in football this season. They thought it was going to be as bad as the NFC South.